In its earliest days, the major function of radio was news. News was the warp and woof of life. And through its news broadcasts, radio became the unifying agent that joined all corners of the land. But with this contribution came a bonus: entertainment. A feature bringing more music and humor into American homes than had ever been heard before. From the premiere broadcast in September 1927 of a new American opera by Deems Taylor and Edna St. Vincent Millay, to the sounds of popular music played by a modern band that featured the foxtrot and something new called a crooner, America now is hearing more music and loving it. Way down east in the state of Maine, a young saxophonist with dreamy eyes and the look of a college campus about him put his megaphone aside, approached a radio mic, and proved that it was the crooner's best friend. Remember the vagabond lover?
Linger a little longer in the twilight with me. We'll dream our cares away. Somehow in the twilight you are nearer to me, dearer than words can say. With your hand in mine we'll wander along. I'll sing to you love's old sweet song. So linger a little longer in the twilight with me. We'll dream our cares away.
That's how Rudy Valley sounded when he was making feminine hearts flutter from coast to coast via the radio around 1934. Meanwhile, an Oklahoma cowboy was making hearts flutter and blood pressure rise in a different way. This rope-twirling graduate of the Ziegfeld Follies, his audience now in the millions thanks to radio, had America's politicians snorting from the sting of his satire. Here's how Will Rogers viewed and skewered some of the Depression relief plans.
Somebody come along with a plan to plow under part of the cotton. And we did, and other nations like Brazil found out where we'd plowed it under, and they come and dug it up, and now they've got more cotton than we had. Somebody had a plan to teach hogs birth control, and now it's a habit with them. Somebody had a plan to plow under every third acre of wheat, and the wind come along and blew out the other 2 acres. It was all a fine plan. It was a fine plan, well carried out. We wanted to raise commodity prices, and now we find there's more people eating than there is raising. And if you get things too high, the guys that eat is going to come in hollering, you know? So plans just don't work. If they're milk and honey to you, they're poison ivy to somebody else, you know? But even if your plan don't work, it ain't any discredit, you know. Our own Savior had a plan, in fact, 10 of them. He left them to us, and he knew they'd help us, and we know they'll help us. And he said, love thy neighbors thyself, but I bet there ain't 2 people in your block that's speaking to each other. We know that all these things, we know them all in our own heart, but I don't know, we just ain't going to do them, that's all. And in our own downright conscience tells us that there's no reason why anybody should have more than you. There ain't nothing wrong with the plan, only just one little defect. Nobody ain't going to share it with you, that's all. I know a lot of tremendously rich people that should share their wealth with me, but they just don't see it my way. Then I know folks that ain't got as much as I have that think I ought to share with them. Well, I just can't hardly see it that way either, you know. That is, even if I can see it that way, I'm not doing it. we'll take we'd take the case, for instance, of, that'd be just like getting J.P. Morgan to split what he had with the Navajos or something, you know? Morgan would say, well, why should I split with the Navajos? I got nothing in common with the Navajos.
But radio had other ways of cheering us up in those days. Among the best, some red-hot jazz singing by an incendiary crooner from the state of Washington via the Paul Whiteman Rhythm Boys, a brash young man by the name of Harry Lillis Crosby, who in 1929 sounded like this as he sang about a popular girl of the day, Sweet Georgia Brown.
No gal maid has got a shade on, sweet Georgia Brown. 2 left feet, but oh so neat, has sweet Georgia Brown. They all sigh and want to die, sweet Miss Georgia Brown, and I'll tell you just why. You know that I do not lie, not much. It's been said that she knocks 'em dead when she lands in town. Since she came, it's a shame how she cools 'em down. Fellas she can't get, must be fellas that she ain't met. Georgia claimed her, Georgia named her, sweet Georgia Brown. It's been said that she knocks 'em dead when she lands in town. Since she came, why it's a shame how she cools 'em down. Fellas she can't get, must be fellas that she ain't met. Georgia claimed her, Georgia named her, sweet Georgia. They call her sweet Miss Georgia Brown.
That was the swinging side of the radio institution known as Bing Crosby. And do you remember who Bing's faithful announcer was? Ken Carpenter is right. He became a household name, as did many of the men who gave the sponsor his due on our favorite radio shows. The theme in the background right now calls to mind another announcer, Jimmy Wellington, who beginning in 1931 had the pleasant task of introducing the entertainer who made that theme famous. It's a beautiful melody, reflecting the warm sentiment and gentle humor that always marked an Eddie Cantor show or song.
When you're near, the room seems to brighten. The sun comes streaming through your eyes. You're the reason why they keep writing all those tender lullabies. There you go, banging with your blocks, pulling off your socks. There you go, trying to make your toes touch your tiny nose. Heaven's close to your chair and my chair when you smile the way you do. Little curly hair in a high chair, my day begins and ends with you. little curly hair in a high chair. What's your orders for today? Little curly hair in a high chair, king of all that you survey. When you're near, the room seems to brighten. The sun comes streaming through your eyes. You're the reason why they keep writing all those tender lullabies. You know you're gonna grow. You'll be so big by and by, and the world will seem so strange. Honey, everything will change. Don't you worry, though. We'll meet each change somehow. In fact, you need a change right now. Heaven's close to your chair and my chair. When you smile the way you do, little curly hair in a high chair, my day begins and ends with you.
Always the master showman, Eddie Cantor was also a keen judge of talent. His radio discoveries included Bobby Breen, Deanna Durbin, Parkia Carcass, and remember the phrase the whole country mimicked? How do you do? Bert Gordon, of course, Eddie Cantor's Mad Russian. Yes, in those wonderful days of radio, the Mad Russian had How Do You Do? And, not to be outdone, radio's Mad Italian had Ink-a-Dink-a-Doo.
Ink-a-dink-a-doo, a-dink-a-dee, a-dink-a-doo. Oh, what a tune, all crooning. Ink-a-dink-a-doo, a-dink-a-dee, a-dink-a-doo. It's got the whole world spooning. Eskimo bells up in Iceland are ringing. They've made their own paradise land singing. Ink-a-dink-a-doo, a-dink-a-dee, a-dink-a-doo simply means ink. A-dink-a-dee, a-dink-a-doo. Ink-a-dink-a-doo, a-dink-a-dee, a-dink-a-doo. Just a crooner. Ink-a-dink-a-doo, a-dink-a-dee, a-dink-a-doo. There's a little bit of Bing Crosby in me. Eskimo bells up in Iceland are ringing. Come on, Jimmy. Here comes the finish. Pep it up. Hit it. Ink-a-dink-a-doo, a-dink-a-dee, a-dink-a-doo. What a voice. What a voice. Simply means ink. A-dink-a-doo, a-dink-a-dee.
That was Jimmy, the well-dressed man, Schnozola Durante, whose longevity as a star entertainer may never be challenged. And do you remember that the Schnoz was only 1/3 of a team that delighted listeners with their own special brand of entertainment?
Say, Jimmy, you look worried. There's something on your mind. I wonder what it is.
Say, I just had an argument with Ziegfeld.
Ziegfeld?
Corner Broadway and 43rd.
Some corner.
You know, Ziegfeld said, do you know who I am? I said, do you know who I am?
What happened?
He said, who I am?
Yes.
I said nothing. I was cornered.
Corner? Some
But
corner.
it makes no difference what I start out to say.
Why not, Jim?
Why, this is what I wish to convey.
What is it, Jimmy?
Now, you know darn well I can do without Broadway.
But
can Broadway do without me?
no.
Why, Herald Square, Times Square, Columbus Circle, 96th. Say, where am I? I must have passed my station.
Why, he's lost.
They must have found out at Times Square that I passed my destination.
Why?
They sent messengers all over to get me to head a celebration.
I get it.
You know, as I got off the express, some yokel pushes me into a local.
What happened?
The crowd, seeing a mistake, pulled the emergency brake and shouted,
Why, there's Jimmy, that well-dressed man.
so you know darn well I can do without Broadway.
But
can Broadway do without me?
no.
Say, fellas, you remember that Eddie Leonard got sick?
Certainly.
I'll never forget the date.
Either will I.
I'm sitting home when in comes another telegram which read,
What it read?
the only one who can replace Eddie Leonard is you.
You.
I went, and when I went, and how I went.
He's a winter.
Why, the applause was deafening as I started crooning.
It was, yes, sir. That's my baby. No, sir, I don't mean maybe.
No, that's not the song.
What was it, Jimmy boy? What was it?
For I love you, eider deep. Kawa.
Duck.
Why, Leonard gets well, Albee thanks me. I'm not home 10 minutes when in comes another telegram which read,
What
What read?
Jolson topples over. Please take his place. Write your own ticket, Lee and Jake.
Schubert.
Well, I steps out on that stage, and on one knee.
One knee.
Not on both knees.
No.
I gazinta.
Alcazinta.
Rockabye, my baby.
Sing it, Jimmy boy.
You know what? One of those kind of sunny boys.
Get on a knee.
He sings on one knee, that Jolson.
Yes, and as I'm brushing off that knee backstage, Schubert says, Jimmy, put in both knees and Jolson goes.
Take it easy, Jimmy boy. Please take it easy.
But being an old NVA man, artiste for artiste,
Arties for arties.
I know darn well I can do without Broadway.
What?
What can Broadway do without me?
No.
Hey, can Broadway do without me?
The famous trio of Clayton, Jackson, and Durante, a great knock 'em down, drag 'em out team of song and dance men. Not all of radio's entertainers were of the rock'em sock'em school. Long before somebody coined the phrase low-pressure comedian, radio had its easygoing, down-to-earth humorists who knew how to bide their time on the way to a punchline. Master storytellers like Harry Hirschfield.
In this topsy whirl of ours and this running around and rushing into one another, you know, a kid in an airplane, and he's running up and down the aisle of the airplane, and he's knocking the food out of the hands of the stewardess, and he's taking the pills away from the passengers, and he's knocking the seat. He's a nuisance running up and down the aisle. Finally, the stewardess grabs a hold of this kid and says, "Do me a favor, play outside." You know that in all the years I've delved in humor, ladies and gentlemen, you won't believe how few stories there are complimentary to women. Oh, women laugh at stories about themselves, but they always think maybe it's the other woman, not her. But I've got a story that'll make the men hang their heads in shame because this is complimentary to women. Fellow got married, and after a few months his wife passed on, and he married for the second time. And he said to the second wife, "You can change the house to suit yourself, but I have a nostalgic feeling for my first wife. Up in the closet she has her hat. Please don't disturb it." So she promised not to. Well, the second wife passed on, and he married for the third time. And he said to the third wife, "You can change the house to suit yourself, but I have a very sentimental feeling for my first two wives. Their hats are up in the closet. Please don't disturb it." She said, "I won't, but I'll tell you this. The next hat that goes up there will be a derby."
Radio made America laugh and helped pass the slow-moving days of recovery from the world's worst depression. Another way America passed the time was listening to radio quiz shows, the most popular of the day being a musical quiz called the College of Musical Knowledge, featuring a host of talented performers like Ginny Simms, Harry Babbitt, and Ishka Bibble, and presided over by an immensely popular personality who introduced the Kay Kaiser theme song like this.
Here's our theme song, Thinking of You. A Beautiful thought, beautifully expressed by Harry Babbitt. I've grown so lonesome thinking of you, thinking of you, all by my lonesome, thinking of you, thinking of you. When you were mine, dear, the world was mine, dear, and my skies were blue. I've grown so lonesome thinking of you, thinking of you.
Back in the 1940s, when you spoke of the old professor, you meant Kay Kaiser, not Casey Stengel. Kay Kaiser was a product of the musical South that gave radio some of its top personalities. People like Phil Harris, Judy Canova, Bob Bazooka Burns, and the songbird of the South, America's musical sweetheart, whose clear, warm voice was the voice of radio from 1932 through most of its golden years, the truly inimitable Kate Smith.
When the moon comes over the mountain, every beam brings a dream, dear, of you. Once again we'll stroll neath the mountain, through that rose-covered valley we knew. Each day is gray and dreary, but the night is bright and cheery. When the moon comes over the mountain, I'm alone with my memories of you.
The South was justly proud of her songbird, Kate Smith. Of course, pride knows no geographical bounds, and the city of brotherly love had its reason to be proud of one of radio's brightest stars. Another graduate of the Ziegfeld Follies, this funny Philadelphian became the symbol of the sharp-witted inebriate. Only W.C. Fields could make a temperance lecture palatable in the days of Prohibition.
Give me a little pianissimo, Professor, please. I would like to speak a few words on temperance. That's fine. Keep it down there. Ladies and gentlemen, down with rum. Ever since the beginning of time, there has been a drink problem. Quite a problem. Even a greater problem now. So scarce. Throughout the Middle Ages, the use of liquor was universal, and drunkenness was so common, it was unnoticed. They called it the Middle Ages, because no one was able to walk home unless they were between two other fellows. I was usually the middle guy. But through the years, enlightenment came, and with it the control of spiritus fermenti. And controlling spiritus fermenti is tougher than tying a hair ribbon on a bolt of lightning. That's a good simile. Now, before I go any further, please do not labor under the misconception that I always have been a teetotaler. No. In my younger days, I was prone to take a nip. I chortle now at the former weakness in my otherwise strong character. But how well I remember my first encounter with a devil's brew. Devil's brew. I happened to stumble across a case of bourbon, and I went right on stumbling for several days thereafter.
Radio's comedians made America laugh, but one entertainer more than any other made America sing. He was vaudeville's greatest minstrel man, dynamic Al Jolson, who, thanks to the magic of radio, was heard by millions who took him to their hearts when he sang of the South he knew so well.
Mammy mine, your little rolling stone that rolled away, strolled away. Mammy mine, your little rolling stone is home today. There to stay. I want to see your smiling face. Smile a welcome smile. I want to feel your fond embrace. Listen, Mammy mine. Rock-a-bye, your baby with a Dixie melody. When you croon a tune from that heart of Dixie, just hang that cradle, Mammy mine, right on that Mason-Dixon line, and swing it from Virginia to Tennessee with all of the soul that's in ya. Weep no more, my lady, Mammy, sing it again for me. And old Black Joe, just as though you had me on your knees. A million baby kisses I'll deliver if you will only sing that Swanee River. Rock-a-bye, your rock-a-bye baby with a Dixie melody. Rock-a-bye, rock your little baby with a Dixie melody. When you croon a little tune from the heart of Dixie, just hang that cradle, Mammy mine, right on that Mason-Dixon line, and swing it from Virginia to Tennessee with all the soul that's in ya. Mammy, listen what they're playing. They're playing Weep No More, My Lady. Sing it again for me. And you remember old Black Joe? Lord love you, Mammy. You sang when I was on your knee. A million baby kisses I'll deliver. Mammy, sing the Swanee River. Rock-a-bye, your rock-a-bye baby with a Dixie melody.
There's an old show business adage that says, always leave 'em laughing, and radio did just that. That's a tune George Gershwin wrote in those bygone days. It's called They All Laughed. And as Americans began to see the end of the Depression in sight, they wanted to laugh longer and louder. So radio gave them 2 more good reasons to do so. And they laughed from the 1930s into the 1960s at the incomparable George Burns and Gracie Allen.
Well, Gracie, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody. What do I do now?
Well, just make something up, you know.
Oh, all right. I'll make up a riddle. I'll give you 3 chances, and if you can't guess it, you win.
If I can't guess it, I win? Well, what happens if I guess it?
Well, then it's a tie.
It's a tie?
Now, what's the difference?
Just a minute, Gracie. This one is on me. A fellow was in a restaurant. He ordered spinach, mashed potatoes, and cheesecake. How did I know that he was a soldier?
Oh, is that the one where the fella had on a uniform? Yeah, that's very good, George. Tell us.
What I'd like to know is how do I allow myself to get mixed up into these things?
Oh, that's very funny. Now, I'll make one up. Not only can I make up riddles, George, I can also tell you what you're thinking about. I'm a mind reader.
Listen, Gracie, is there anything that phases you?
I don't think so.
No.
All right, now, think of something.
Well, all right, I'm thinking.
Is it green?
Is what green?
Does it hang from the ceiling and whistle?
Does what hang from the ceiling and whistle?
Does it run along the floor and sing?
Listen.
Does it climb up buildings and swim?
Just a minute. I thought you said that you could read my mind.
Well, George, how can I read your mind if you keep on asking me all those silly questions?
I'm asking... Listen, let's talk about something else. Well, Gracie, I'm sorry to hear about your missing brother.
Oh, that's too bad, George, because my brother's missing, too.
The only difference between you and me is that I have the power of mind over matter, and you have no mind, and it doesn't seem to matter.
I bet you tell that to all the girls.
Never mind. I still would like to know, how is your brother?
My brother? Oh, well, I think they ought to open up all the prisons. It would help prosperity.
Wait a minute. That's the wrong answer.
No, that's the right answer, but you asked the wrong question.
They tell us radio as we knew it is dead, but this isn't entirely true. It is gone, all right, but it isn't dead. Any more than our first teenage romance is dead, or our high school prom. Like them, radio lives on in our minds and hearts. Radio then was a part of our way of life. It left its mark on our national taste, our speech and customs. Radio's golden years will always be with us, because part of our national heritage was formed when radio was king. No written history of American radio could ever capture its true essence on paper, because, above all, radio was a medium of sound. From the lifeless, sometimes confusing printed page of the radio script came vivid sound pictures, which stimulated the listener's imagination and produced the desired illusion instantly. Using the simple sound tools of radio, the writers, directors, and technicians could create countless locales and infinite numbers of dramatic events. For many years, this sound heralded a half hour of occult terror and nerve-tingling suspense for millions of nighttime radio listeners. No one doubted that unspeakable horrors lurked behind the squeaking door of the inner sanctum, and if in the course of his eerie introduction, Raymond, the host, apologized for not having had time to count the bodies, living and dead, who will be heard on tonight's show, America knew the worst was yet to come, and they could hardly wait. But not all of radio's sounds were the sounds of melodrama. By the 1930s, music was well established as a staple of radio, and the music makers became the idols of millions. One of these idols was a singer whose rolling diction and virile voice thrilled the faithful females who never missed a broadcast by the street singer.
Give me a home where the buffalo roam, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day.
If the romantic music of Arthur Tracy, the street singer, thrilled listeners of the early 1930s, another kind of music was greeted with equal joy by those of the late 30s, 40s, and 50s. It was the music that introduced the countless programs devoted to the fight against crime.
Another great story based on Frederick L. Collins' copyrighted book, The FBI in Peace and War. Drama, thrills, action. Tonight's story, The Traveling Man.
To the director, FBI, Washington, confidential. Stolen Buick sedan, motor number 126027, recovered on used car lot, Miami, Florida. Vehicle originally registered in New York City, third recovered to date, confirming theory, New York to Miami theft ring. We'll continue tracing this vehicle and others with Agent Shepard. Sign it Reynolds through Miami field office.
Since the time of Edgar Allan Poe, writers have tried to approach the mystery story from new and different angles. Radio mystery writers had the same goals. The format of the mystery show became, perhaps, more important than the mystery itself. In one series, a kindly old investigator set out each week to find a missing person and inevitably found mystery and murder.
It's time now for Mr. Keene, tracer of lost persons.
Miss Carson, my name is Keene, and this is my partner, Mike Clancy. We're investigating the murder of Donald Travers, your niece's husband. We were asked to take the case by Jane Travers, your niece. May we come in?
Presenting Mr. Keene, tracer of lost persons, in our new Mr. Keene series, in which the kindly old investigator brings to us his most celebrated cases on Mondays through Fridays at this same time. Tonight, the Shrieking Prisoner murder case. The scene opens at night in a large old-fashioned house in a lonely section of New York City. A young man has just entered the darkened interior, and as he moves across the room, he hears a sudden, blood-curdling shriek of frustration and anguish coming from another part of the house. The young man stands frozen for a moment. Then as he quickly moves to a door and opens it, a shot rings out. A moment later, a murderer peers down with grim satisfaction at the figure on the floor, the lifeless body of a young man with a bullet through his heart. And now, Mr. Keene, the famous investigator, and his partner, Mike Clancy, are looking into the murder. The scene of the crime is a home owned by two weird sisters, Martha and Amy Carson. And the murdered man is their niece's young husband. Why has he been murdered? Mr. Keene is first attempting to find the source of the frightful shrieking which has been heard in the house. But he and Mike are being blocked by Martha Carson and Luther Prague, her burly handyman, who has entered the room with an axe in his hand. As Mr. Keene says,
Martha Carson, I'm here with my partner, Mike Clancy, to investigate the murder of young Donald Travers. I suggest you tell your handyman to let us go upstairs. If you try to prevent us, you'll only put yourself further under suspicion for the murder that occurred in this house last night.
In sharp contrast to Mr. Keene, there was the fast-talking, hard-boiled insurance investigator, Johnny Dollar.
Expense account, item 4, 5 cents, phone call.
Police headquarters.
Give me missing persons.
Any particular one?
Don't be a wise guy. Lieutenant Fisher.
Yes, sir. Lieutenant Fisher.
Oh, Fisher, this is Johnny Dollar.
Well, hello, Dollar. What did you lose?
Practically everybody. Let's start with a girl, Theodora Butts.
You mean you lost your girl? Why didn't you call Dorothy Dix?
Don't waste time being clever. Just check your reports, will you?
Hold on. Buddington, Bumpus, Byers. Nope, nothing on her, Dollar.
Okay, well, try this one. Brooks, Milford III.
Bullseye. Brooks, Milford III. He hasn't been reported missing, and we haven't found him yet. But, we think we know where he is.
Oh, this kind of a question I always hate to ask. Where?
The Hudson River. At 11:15 tonight, his top coat, complete with identification, was found taking a ride on the 125th Street ferry.
Anything else?
Nothing much. Package of matches was found under the coat, monogrammed. You don't happen to know anybody whose initials are H.H., do you?
H.H.? Well, there's always Horace Height. Thanks, Fisher. I'll check back with you later.
I'll be here.
On another program, the theme music of the show created an air of mystery that captured and held the listener at once. This was the haunting melody that introduced The Whistler.
I am the Whistler, and I know many things, for I walk by night. I know many strange tales, hidden in the hearts of men and women who have stepped into the shadows. Yes, I know the nameless terrors of which they dare not speak.
Yes, it's the first in a new series of strange tales by The Whistler. Long the West's most popular mystery and a CBS favorite of last summer, The Whistler now brings his unusual stories of conflict and emotion to coast-to-coast audiences each Wednesday evening at this same time. Tonight, The Whistler's story, A Woman's Privilege.
In the drawing room of a palatial home in Newport hang a pair of priceless oil paintings, one of an Italian nobleman, the other his wife. The surfaces are cracked, the frames old and worm-eaten, but the colors are as fresh and brilliant as if they were painted yesterday. There's a strange connection between the paintings and a sordid, ugly scene in a New York police station not far from the East River. It was very late, and in the next room, a homicide lieutenant was grilling a suspect. The charge was murder.
In the opening format of the Whistler series, we find the radio principle of developing a unique sound easily identified by the listener. This uniqueness of sound was also a prerequisite for success as a singer on radio. Bing Crosby had it, so did Kate Smith. And in 1933, so did this 1964 television comedienne, who first starred on her own network radio show at the age of 3.
I haven't even met you, except in dreams that are haunting me. Still I feel you use in hiding away from me. I'll find you. I'll find you. Come out, wherever you are. Behind a cloud or up in a star. Come out, wherever you are. We haven't met, but it'll be sweet. We'll play and sing the very moment we meet. Come out, wherever you are. I spied you on the Milky Way. I spied you where the daffodils play. I spied you in your hideaway. Hi-oh, the merry-oh, what do you say? Come out, wherever you are. Behind a cloud away up in a star. Come out, wherever you are.
That amazing voice belonged to the child wonder of radio, baby Rosemarie, who after retiring from show business at the age of 12, achieved national recognition for the second time some 30 years later, in the part of Sally, the fast-talking gag writer on the Dick Van Dyke television show. The unique sound of her childhood voice had been her entree to radio stardom. Children likewise became the star vehicle for a pleasant-voiced performer named Don Carney, who aimed his views on family problems at the little problems themselves. And when Uncle Don sang, millions of youngsters listened.
Now we're going to sing once more of etiquette. There are some rules that I've never told you yet. Real important subjects that you meet with every day. So listen most attentively to what I have to say. Teasing seems to be a little habit that we all indulge in frequently. Teasing for the things that Mother thinks we shouldn't have. Being just as cross as we can be. Never tease when Mother tells you no, dear. And there's many other pointers that I will mention. Remember this, it's very true. All things are not good for you. I hope that you are paying close attention. Suppose that someone of your little playmates has something that you would like to own. Now, if you say, "Dear Mother, may I have one just like that?" And Mother says, "No, dear, don't weep and moan. We can't have everything we want, dear." And there's many other pointers that I will mention. You would not care for anything if you could have everything. I hope that you are paying close attention. It's natural to want most things we see, dears. Some of us go all through life that way. Wanting, asking, teasing, fretting, never satisfied, being most unhappy every day. So do your best to break the teasing habit. Oh, there's many other pointers that I could mention. Never tease and pout all day. Suppose your face should freeze that way. I thank you for your very kind attention. But of smaller children, never take advantage. They like to play their games just as well as you. Supposing someone big should come and take your toys away. Why, you'd think it was an awful thing to do. Now, wouldn't you? So enjoy your fun, but don't impose on others. And there's many other pointers that I could mention. If you for better manners strive, just heed this chapter number 5. I thank you for your very kind attention.
Uncle Don's appeal to children all over the country was an early phenomenon of radio. In 1929, Uncle Don was included in the blue ribbon list of radio programs considered to be the cream of the industry. That was the same year another radio phenomenon was developing in the obscurity of a small radio station in Baltimore. He was billed as the warbling banjoist. No radio personality before or since has endeared himself to the American public more than Arthur Godfrey, whose personal warmth and sincerity are evident in this touching recitation.
Between the innocence of babyhood and the dignity of manhood, we find a delightful creature called a boy. Boys come in assorted sizes, weights, and colors. But all boys have the same creed: to enjoy every second of every minute of every hour of every day, and to protest with noise, their only weapon, when their last minute is finished and the adult males pack them off to bed at night. Boys are found everywhere. On top of, underneath, inside of, climbing on, swinging from, running around, or jumping to. Mothers love them. Little girls hate them. Older sisters and brothers tolerate them. Adults ignore them, and heaven protects them. A boy is truth with dirt on its face, wisdom with bubble gum in its hair, and the hope of the future with a frog in its pocket. When you're busy, a boy is an inconsiderate, bothersome, intruding jangle of noise. When you want him to make a good impression, his brain turns to jelly. Or else he becomes a savage, sadistic jungle creature bent on destroying the world and himself with it. A boy is a composite. He has the appetite of a horse, the digestion of a sword swallower, the energy of a pocket-sized atomic bomb, and the curiosity of a cat. He has the lungs of a dictator, the imagination of a Paul Bunyan, the shyness of a violet, the audacity of a steel trap, the enthusiasm of a firecracker, and when he makes something, he has 5 thumbs on each hand. He likes ice cream, knives, saws, Christmas, comic books, the boy across the street, woods, water in its natural habitat, large animals, dad, trains, Saturday mornings, and fire engines. There's not much for Sunday school, company, schools, books without pictures, music lessons, neckties, barbers, girls, overcoats, adults, or bedtime. Nobody else is so early to rise or so late to supper. Nobody else gets so much fun out of trees and dogs and breezes. Nobody else can cram into one pocket a rusty knife, a half-eaten apple, 3 feet of string, an empty Bull Durham sack, 2 gumdrops, 6 cents, a slingshot, a chunk of some unknown substance, and a genuine supersonic code ring with a secret compartment. A boy is a magical creature. You can lock him out of your workshop, but you can't lock him out of your heart. You can get him out of your study, but you can't get him out of your mind. Might as well give up. He's your captor, your jailer, your boss, your master. He's a freckle-faced, pint-sized, cat-chasing bundle of noise. But when you come home at night with only the shattered pieces of your hopes and dreams, he can mend them like new with those 2 magic words. Hi, Dad.
As further proof of his impact on the audience, it was Arthur Godfrey who almost single-handedly revived public interest in a musical instrument which had been a national favorite during the fun-loving 1920s, the ukulele. The entertainer first responsible for its popularity during those roaring years was Cliff Edwards, best known as Ukulele Ike.
Say it's only a paper moon sailing over a cardboard sea, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Yes, it's only a canvas sky hanging over a muslin tree, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Without your love, it's a honky-tonk parade. Without your love. It's a melody played in a penny arcade. It's a Barnum and Bailey world, just as phony as it can be. But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me.
From the Ziegfeld Follies of 1919 to George Gershwin's Lady Be Good in 1924, to the Hollywood Review of 1929, to the Columbia Variety Hour in 1934, to the voice of Jiminy Cricket, and new success in television, Ukulele Ike has been one of America's favorite troubadours for more than 4 decades. No mention of radio troubadours would be complete without the name of Morton Downey, who held forth as radio's most popular Irish tenor during the 1930s and continued to star on radio into the 1950s. His Rose of Tralee brought a tear to many a smiling Irish eye.
The pale moon was rising above the green mountain. The sun was declining beneath the blue sea. When I strayed with my love to the pure crystal fountain that stands in the beautiful vale of Tralee, though lovely and fair as the rose of the summer, yet was not her beauty alone that won me. Oh no, 'twas the truth in her eye ever dawning that made me love Mary, the Rose of Tralee. Oh no, 'twas the truth in her eye ever dawning that made me love Mary, the Rose of
If music had the power to bring a tear to the eye, so did laughter when it was hearty enough. And some of radio's biggest laughs were inspired by the surefire delivery of an ultra-sophisticated school teacher named Connie Brooks.
This happened last Wednesday after school. I was passing the drugstore and just happened to have a penny on me. Tuesday was payday. So I approached the weighing machine, and like I said, this brewery horse was stomping on the springs. And when he saw his weight on the little card, he looked around the drugstore, then made tracks for a sign saying girdle department. I calmly stepped aboard, and when my card came out, I glanced casually at my weight, chuckled as if to say, how much accuracy can you expect for a cent? And was just about to throw the card away when I noticed my fortune printed on the back. It said, a tall, dark man is coming into your life. Then, of course, I did drop the card. It landed in my purse, and I proceeded on home. By the next morning, I'd forgotten about it completely. As usual, I'd left word for Mrs. Davis, my landlady, to wake me at 7:30.
Connie. Oh, Connie.
What is it?
Better hurry, Connie. You've only got 20 minutes.
20 minutes? What time is it?
7:10, and you've only got 20 minutes to sleep.
Oh, fine. Well, come on in, Mrs. Davis.
Did you have a good night, Connie? I said, did you have a good night?
Good night, Mrs. Davis.
You better get up now, Connie. Here, I've brought you some fruit juice. Go on, Connie, take a sip.
Oh, what kind of juice is this?
It's a combination. Pineapple, papaya, and passion fruit. It's a genuine Hawaiian recipe.
What do you stir it with, a ukulele?
After you drink it, we'll have a nice... Why, Connie, what's that little white card?
What little white card?
This one here on your night table. Let's see. It says, a tall, dark man is coming into your life. Now, who do you suppose that could be?
Well, it's not Sonny Tufts. He's a blonde.
Maybe they mean Mr. Philip Boynton.
The bashful biologist? No, Mrs. Davis. So far, he's managed to remain in the suburbs of my life.
Well, of course, I don't believe in fortunes on cards and crystal gazing and palm reading and all that nonsense. There is, however, a logical and scientific way to arrive at certain conclusions about one's personal destiny.
What's that, Mrs. Davis?
Tea leaves. Now, you hurry and get dressed, and I'll brew the tea. After breakfast, I'll give you a reading.
All right, Mrs. Davis. Oh, just a minute.
What is it, Connie?
Before I get out of bed, you better take that tall, dark man off my night table.
Let's see now. Where are the leaves?
Well, most of them are in my teeth.
Here we are. There's plenty left for a reading. First, we revolve the cup 3 times slowly between our hands, then quickly turn it over onto the saucer. There. Well, what do you know? The weight card was right.
What?
There he is, right there in the cup, the tall, dark man who's coming into your life. Don't tell me you can't see him.
Oh, of course. For a minute, I didn't recognize him with all those tea leaves on.
Eve Arden, as our Miss Brooks, may have had her troubles, but they were relatively unimportant as compared to those of one of radio's most beleaguered heroines, Ellen Brown, better known to millions of sympathetic housewives as Young Widder Brown.
Now, Young Widder Brown. Will Anthony Loring, the brilliant doctor who loves Ellen Brown, let her leave Simpsonville? Let her go out of his life? Well, this is what Evan intends to do. And with each passing hour, the time for her departure draws nearer. Evan has decided to take the one course she feels is open to her. To go to Chicago and stay at the townhouse of Daniel Cartwright and his son, Ted, till she can make definite plans for the future for herself and her 2 young children.
By 1940, Young Widder Brown and its soap opera counterparts numbered close to 80. Vast numbers of American housewives formed the most faithful audience in the history of broadcasting. But the largest rating of the year in 1940 went to the broadcasts that featured this famous voice.
He is one of that great historic trio which has voted consistently against every measure for the relief of agriculture, modern, farm, and fish.
Starting in 1932, President Roosevelt's fireside chats had become an American institution. In 1940, it was radio that helped FDR overcome nationwide newspaper opposition to his candidacy for a 3rd term. 1940 was notable in radio for another reason. It was the year a young singer auditioned and was hired as a member of the CBS radio chorus. Within 2 years, she was broadcasting on her own network program and adding to the cultural wealth of an industry which had already commissioned works by such classical composers as Walter Piston, Aaron Copland, and Roy Harris. The program was called Eileen Farrell Sings.
Chi sarà, chi sarà, e come sarà giunto? Chi dirà, chiamerà, butterfly dalla lontana. Io senza dar risposta me ne starò nascosta, un po' per cena e un po' per non Piccina mogliettina, un lenzuol di verbena, nomi che mi dà al suo venire. Tutto questo avverrà, te lo prometto.
The magnificent voice of Eileen Farrell, the NBC Symphony Orchestra under Toscanini, and the great New York Philharmonic broadcasts were radio landmarks in classical music. But the classics also had a lighter side when interpreted by a brilliant Danish pianist with a wild flair for comedy. Appearing first as an off-the-air warm-up entertainer of studio audiences for Bing Crosby's radio program, he was successful enough to be signed for a guest appearance on the Air Show in 1941. There he remained to become one of the country's leading humorists. Here is musical history as interpreted by Victor Borge.
Now Bach. Johann Sibelius Bach. I don't know if you are familiar with the fact, but Bach had approximately 20 to 30 children. And I guess that goes for Mrs. Bach, too. Now, it takes time to raise about 25 to 30 children. Oh, my goodness. I know, I have two myself. So that's plenty. Mine are twins, though, both of them. They're awfully cute. Can't think of their names. Well, they don't come when I call them anyway. So. All right, Bach. I bet you when he wrote this one, he was thinking of something else. no more. Not in his life, that man was. Now, Wagner. Richard Wagner. Or as he is known over here, Dick Wagner. This is from his famous opera, Die gestorben mit ganzen geströppten Rechten.
Via the radio, America was learning to enjoy the many facets of music. Perhaps the most popular of all was the dance band remote broadcast. Late-hour listeners tuned to their local network stations to hear Blue Barons Orchestra from the green room of the Hotel Edison in New York, or Sammy Kaye at the Astor Roof, Ted Weems at Chicago's Black Hawk Restaurant, or Chicago's Jan Garber, the idol of the airwaves. And in 1940, if you were listening to Orrin Tucker's orchestra from the Mark Hopkins Hotel in San Francisco, you heard Wee Bonnie Baker sing this song.
All the girls are crazy about a certain little lad. Although he's very, very bad, he could be oh so good when he wanted to. Bad or good, he understood about love and other things. For every girl in town followed him around just to hold his hand and sing. Oh, Johnny, how you can love. Oh, Johnny, heavens above. You make my sad heart jump with joy. And when you're near, I just can't sit still a minute. I'm so, oh, Johnny, please tell me, dear, what makes me love you so? You're not handsome, it's true, but when I look at you, I just, oh, Johnny, uh-oh.
Through the late 20s, the 30s, 40s, and early 50s, the radio dance band remote was a part of American life. In living rooms and parlors, playrooms and front porches, America listened and danced. As night progressed from time zone to time zone, a song written by band leader Ray Noble in 1931 inevitably signaled the time of the last dance.
Good night, sweetheart, till we meet tomorrow. Good night, sweetheart, sleep will banish sorrow.
All across America, cheek pressed closer to cheek and heart to heart, and a moment of profound peace passed like a thread woven through the fiber of a nation.
But with the dawn, a new day is born, so I'll say good night, sweetheart. Though I'm not beside you, good night, sweetheart. Still my love will guide you. Dreams enfold you. In each one I'll hold you. Good night, sweetheart. Good night.
And so ended the day in millions of American homes. With the beginning of the next day, radio again became an important part of the lives of most people. For more than 4 decades, radio informed, inspired, educated, stimulated, and entertained the young, the old, the middle-aged, the rich, the poor, the shut-ins, the vast complex of religious, national, economic, and racial groups that formed the vibrant mass that listened and responded when radio was king.